Pregame.com.
Pregame.tv just discussing college football action here. We're going to talk about what I consider to be my least favorite team in the NCAA's, the Wyoming Cowboys. Welcome to 7,200 feet, people. No, this game is in Boise, and people ask how things are going for me in the Golden Nugget. I was in the quarterfinals this week. I am gone, finished, because of this game. Wyoming, I took plus, not this because of this team, I took them plus 10 at home. The bettors bet this game from 10 to 9 to 8 all the way down to 7, and they get drilled 48 to 10, up 10-0, outscored 48-zip. The rest of the way, they had fired their defensive coordinator. It looks like they'd fixed what was wrong. This was the spot to go ahead and step up. Complete fiasco. This Wyoming team, stick a fork in them, Brady.
I agree with you. I think that was a demoralizing loss, not only for a lot of sharp bettors out here in town, but for this team as well. Like you say, it was a spot for them at home. They had a big rival game coming in, Fresno State, and they just got throttled. And now they have to take on Boise State, who's not all that bad either. Played Fresno right close to the vest. I think that was a one-point game way back when they played earlier in the year. It's not going to be easy for them this week either. So I don't know how they try it. I mean, after being so demoralized last week, I don't know how they, restart the engine and get back up again.
Yeah, I think too, when you take a look at a team like Wyoming, it's like, how many big games can they really?
Yeah.
It almost seems like you play the big boys back to back, and it's like they ran out of gas in that second half. They were the ones that got gassed on the altitude. And one thing that was telling is I noticed that their fine quarterback, he's supposed to be good, just throws the ball on 4th and 8 out of bounds. Like, you remember when Cutler was getting sacked 11 times in that game, and he just left-handed it out of bounds? It was that kind of attitude, like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, no, he thought he was. It looked like thought he was making a smart play. Like, hey, don't throw an interception. I'll just throw it on his 4th down, pal. I mean, yeah, it got ugly there for Wyoming.
Yeah, and I think that here's a team that's used to having some success, middle tier team in the Mountain West. And I remember they have a very passionate coach. He screams a lot. And I was mentioning I like that when I bet on the team to have that. But the problem with those passionate screamers is when things go bad.
Yeah. The screaming gets old, and it's like they throw in the towel. On the other side, Boise has not been the Boise that we're used to, but they're still a pretty darn good team. This new quarterback that they have in there runs the ball very well. They held tight with Fresno State. They were beaten pretty badly by by BYU, which surprised me. But I think this team is maybe better than the public, perceives them to be, because they're used to that old Boise, where Peterson's teams are scoring 50-some points and really killing people. But this team's not all that bad.
Very good. I'm going to go ahead and make this official to be a complete wipeout here. Very good. Wyoming Cowboys, I got to give kudos to Tony Miller at the Golden Nugget. Everyone else was stealing this game 9, 8.5. He dealt it 10 last Friday. He got my money plus 10. He knocked me out of the contest. It's an example of the bookmaker dangling a number that was too good in front of the bettor and the bettor going down. I won't make that mistake again. Yes, Boise is having a down year, but I like Peterson. I like the coach. I like the program. Here's a team that's going to be not as excited as maybe they normally will, but after a disappointing season, they're going to like nothing better than to lower the hammer on someone and absolutely destroy a team at home. I think it happens here. I think Wyoming has quit completely. If there's one thing in college football that works each and every year, maybe a team shows up for their last home game, but you put them on the road, put them in cold weather on top of that, and these players we do not want to be here. We may have stayed at a Holiday Inn last night, but we're none too intelligent with the play calling or with reading the zone blitzes and everything else. We just want the season to end, and I think it ends very badly here for Wyoming. I think Boise destroys them.
Boise State laying 22 points at home, welcoming the Wyoming Cowboys to town, and I think they are welcoming them because, like you say, they haven't had their best year as Boise history, or as BYU, gosh, I'm mixing up BYU and Boise, as Boise State history goes, and now they get a cupcake, if you will, and not necessarily a cupcake, but a team that, everything with their sights were set on last week against Fresno State. They blow that one badly, and Boise State's going to take advantage of that situation.
Very good. And, speaking of BYU, BYU. I saw BYU's basketball game against Stanford, and they're the greatest shooting team in the history of the NCAAs, at least from what I saw. Back to this game. Not only am I going to recommend you go ahead and lay, it's 23 now. Open 22, as Brady mentioned, it's up to 23. You got to lay this now. And sometimes I'll come out and make a pick and say, plenty of time, take your time, let the public bet the other way. Not this one. Everyone's going to bet what we're betting. Go to the win right before this game kicks off. You'll see a big 26 on that board. Johnny Avell will be like, please, somebody bet Wyoming. And if you have a minus 23 in your pocket, you got a great chance to go ahead and stick with that great bet, or even go for the middle on this one. So get down as quickly as possible. My best bet here, free play, got to lay the 23 here on Boise.
Same principle with the Baylor game that we talked about in an earlier video, 26.5. Now a lot of 27s out there, and Baylor's, like Oregon has been a public team all year long and been covering. So I see the bettors continuing to pound Baylor on this one. This one could get over 28. So going back to our video recommendation on Baylor, I would recommend getting down on that one in a hurry as well.
And I've got one more game that I'm going to recommend you get down ASAP. That's on the Monday Night Football game. Stay with us, and we'll be breaking down New England Patriots, the surging Carolina Panthers, pregame.tv.